And a good Friday to you. I am Dan Coons filling in for Grant Olson, who is on vacation, so to speak. It was a very busy day in the bullpen today. We have a lot of news to get to, but first we always begin our newscast with a look outside the weather window. Up to Billy Goat we go. Somewhere down there is Pateros, is Brewster, is Bridgeport. They, unlike us, were under the influence of those heavy clouds and fog and the stratus that just didn't burn off to the north of us. The National Weather Service is predicting this for the folks up in the Okanagan-Omak area, and in addition to that, the Methow Valley. But down here in the Wenatchee Valley, not only do we have sunshine this afternoon, we're in for quite a bit of sunshine right through the forecast period. All those low clouds and fog and the air inversion are gone, and we're in for a very nice stretch of weather. Details are coming up. Some of the stories we're working on for you on this Friday. Cases of COVID in our area are still high, but seem to be slowing. Luke Davies of the Chelan-Douglas Health District gives us an update on the Omicron variant, and the man who wounded a Grant County deputy during a robbery spree was sentenced this week. But first, our top story, an accident on Highway 28 outside of East Wenatchee blocked traffic in both directions for quite some time this morning. It was a head-on collision. 2 people hospitalized with serious injuries. The Washington State Patrol says the wreck was caused by an impaired driver. Trooper John Bryant said a driver and passenger were injured, both transported to Central Washington Hospital in Wenatchee. The accident happened at about 10:20 this morning, about 2 miles south of East Wenatchee. It involved a 2017 Ford Focus and a 2002 Pontiac Bonneville. Bryant said he has no information yet on which of the vehicle actually caused the accident or which occupants of the vehicles were hospitalized. At close to the same time, a box truck rolled on its side on Highway 28. Look at that. That's near Crescent Bar on Trinidad Hill. Bryant said the driver suffered minor injuries in that accident, but traffic was able to get around that box truck using the shoulder of the highway. Although the number of new COVID-19 cases in Chelan and Douglas counties are still high, another record high was set this last week, it does seem to be slowing, the growth anyway. The Chelan-Douglas Health District reported Thursday that the rate of new cases has jumped to 2,725 per 100,000 residents over the previous couple of weeks. Now that's up from 2,545 new cases per 100,000 population that was reported last week. The new case rate has been at least doubling each of the previous 3 weeks. Now the high numbers coincide with the arrival of the Omicron variant of the virus and a huge demand of testing locally. Tracking of the numbers has also been complicated by the fact that the number of home tests are being taken. When the health district distributes home tests, they include instructions to report any positive tests. But with home tests now available in stores as well as being distributed by the federal government, soon the state tracking of new cases is likely to get more difficult. The number of people hospitalized with COVID-19 is not seeing the same surge. On Thursday, Confluence Health reported there are 29 people at Central Washington Hospital with COVID-19, 7 of those in the intensive care unit. The number hospitalized has been consistently in the low 30s or high 20s for the last several weeks. Chelan-Douglas Health District Administrator Luke Davies said the Omicron variant of COVID-19 is sweeping through the community as expected, but so far it has proven to be less severe than the previous variants of COVID-19. Earlier this week, I had a chance to talk to Luke Davies, and he told me about what they currently know about the Omicron variant.
What's really specific to Omicron and what's different than Delta or previous variants is that it's primarily staying in the upper respiratory tract. Whereas the previous variants were more infectious in the lungs. And that's part of the reason why Omicron is less severe, is it's not settling in the lungs as much. And so kind of preliminary studies that we've seen with animal studies kind of show us that. So a lot of people are just going to kind of have a head cold and become sinus problems. It appears that there's about a 90% decrease in mortality. We're from an epidemiologist point of view, we know that all the data hasn't come in yet, but what we're seeing coming out of New York, London, South Africa bodes well for that. We're still going to see people in the ICU. We're still going to see people die, but it's not as bad as Delta was. Again, our problem with Omicron is that instead of being spread out over 4 months, everybody who's going to get sick and need to be hospitalized is going to get sick probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
The man who was arrested for robbing 3 Grant County businesses and wounding A Grant County Sheriff's deputy was sentenced to 42 years in prison. 46-year-old Jesus Torres Jr. held up 3 convenience stores in Moses Lake and Royal City at gunpoint back in November of 2020 and opened fire when police began pursuing him through a Freda. Now, one deputy was shot in the foot during that incident. Torres has already begun serving his term. He's at the Washington Correction Center in Shelton. He still has to stand trial, however, in Douglas County for allegedly robbing the BJ's 76 Shell station in Rock Island during that same spree. Still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News, trials in Douglas County Superior Court are off until at least April. A small fire in Manson yesterday shut down the main street through town. Bighorn sheep around Lake Chelan will soon be wearing tracking collars, and construction of a new fire station in Rock Island is now underway. You're watching a Friday edition of the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Hello, my name is Brian Brett, the Fire Chief for Chelan County Fire District 1, and I just wanted to talk about how amazing our Rivercom team is. They are intentional, purposeful, and skillful in everything they do, and they are the best at what they do. How they prepare, how they handle the caller, how they coordinate the emergency services, and how they push themselves to be the best. This is the kind of spirit that our Rivercom telecommunicators have. Our community needs you, we need you, we admire you. You're our lifeline.
What's the best way to attract a wide variety of beautiful birds to your backyard? By offering the birds the right foods in expertly designed bird feeders from Wild Birds Unlimited. Whether you've been feeding the birds for a while or are just getting started, let our backyard bird feeding specialists show you how to add a little joy to your life and make nature a part of every day. Shop now for exclusive bird foods, feeders, hardware, and more. Wild Birds Unlimited. Products designed by experts. Trusted local advice.
Raising a family may have seemed overwhelming to your parents, but they weren't. Coach, teacher, life guide, caregiver. Family takes care of family. And as the circle of life continues, you now are their caregiver. It may seem overwhelming, but we're here to help you find the support services necessary so you can provide quality care to your elders.
Call Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington at 1-800-572-4459.
And welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Dan Coons filling in for Grant Olson. Criminal trials in Douglas County Superior Court once again on pause while the region continues to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic. Superior Court Judge Brian Hubert signed an order 2 weeks ago that canceled all trials through January 31st. Well, yesterday he extended that order through March 31st. Now, the last time trials in Waterville were deferred was in the early stages of the pandemic, just about 2 years ago, and they didn't resume for a full year. Huber's order says the key problem, lack of spacing in the courtroom and chambers for jurors to practice safe social distancing. Traffic in downtown Manson was diverted on Thursday afternoon as firefighters responded to a fire at the Sunset Bar on Wapato Way. The Manson Volunteer Fire Association said the 2:20 p.m. fire was actually in an apartment above and behind the business. Firefighters were quickly able to suppress the fire, and they reopened Wapato Way before using ventilation fans to clear the smoke out from the building. Now, the Sunset Bar and Grill was closed yesterday. It was scheduled to reopen today. Now, the cause of that fire has yet to be determined. Another roundup is forthcoming from the Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife. This time, wildlife managers are going to be set out to catch and collar 10 bighorn sheep from the Manson herd. The Manson herd ranges on the north shore of Lake Chelan. It's one of 3 Washington herds targeted for the project. The idea is to assess their health as bighorns struggle with a deadly form of bacterial pneumonia. It's transmitted to them from domestic bighorn sheep. The radio collars will help wildlife agents track migration and detect changes caused by the disease and other factors. The catch, collar, and release program is scheduled to start before the end of this month. And Douglas County Fire District Number 2 broke ground yesterday on their brand new fire station, 9,900 square feet out there in Rock Island. Kay McKellar said the Rock Island Fire Station will take 9 to 10 months to complete. It'll have 3 apparatus bays and 6 rooms for sleeping and eating. 2 full-time firefighters will man the station in addition to volunteers. The contract for the construction was awarded in 2020 to HB Hansen Construction out of Linden. It'll cost just under $3.6 million. Still to come, tonight's feature story, your weather forecast, and sports with Eric Grandstrom. You're watching a Friday edition of the NCWLIFE Evening News.
I'm Dr. Wayne Latimer. I'm a chiropractic physician. I have postgraduate certifications in both whiplash, trauma and rehab, as well as sports medicine. The location is great. The light and the visibility, the 17-foot ceilings are fantastic. You can go into a lot of clinics, and it's very clinical. People really like the spa environment, so my whole premise was take a spa environment, add the very serious rehab, and give people an enjoyable way to get better over time.
When it comes to finding a memory care community, you want the very best. You want to know that your loved one is safe and receiving compassionate care in a loving environment. Fieldstone Memory Care is an innovative assisted living community designed for those with Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's disease. You'll find a community specifically designed to enrich residents' lives. The Fieldstone team is here to help you navigate the important decisions you face when a loved one has dementia or Alzheimer's. Welcome home to Fieldstone.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I am Dan Kuntz. Small town mayors along the corridor between Wenatchee and Monroe on Highway 2 lined up. They are supporting a bill that was put forward by State Senator Brad Hawkins. The bill is 5603, and the idea is it would direct the Department of Transportation to study traffic flow on Highway 2 from Wenatchee to Monroe and suggest improvements with inputs from communities along the route. Here's what the mayors had to say in a remote hearing that was held Monday by the Senate Transportation Committee.
This is a very important corridor to our state, and we've had extensive conversations in this committee in the first week or so, and it's not really been something spotlighted yet, so I'm hopeful my bill can help do that.
Leavenworth's unique, as you know. We don't always just have to worry about the traffic that's coming to pass through because it's a major highway. We also have to worry about the traffic that's coming because of Leavenworth. We have over 2 million guests a year that stop in our town. So not only do we have, the issues around a highway, but the issues of a resort, if you would, a community that's a mountain community. Most of those mountain communities don't have a major highway that splits them in half. But we do, and that adds to the pressures and the needs.
US 2 is frequently an alternative to I-90 for people traveling between eastern and western Washington. The current condition of US 2 has significant adverse impacts on communities along US 2. It is common that people are unable to turn onto Highway 2 from county roads, city streets, and private driveways that connect US 2 from Monroe eastward. Vehicle versus vehicle, vehicle versus pedestrian accidents are common throughout the corridor. And these are many of the reasons among which we continue to advocate for improvements to Highway 2.
The city of Sultan is home to 5,388 residents divided in half by Highway 2 and has been directly impacted by the 24,000 vehicles traveling eastbound and westbound daily that rely on this route to make it to their destination and back. As you can imagine, a significant number of these travelers divert onto our local roads, attempting to avoid Highway 2 gridlock and the unfortunate common occurrence of head-on collisions. To put into perspective, the city's local roads carry 4 times our population, which is directly caused by the diversion of those traveling on Highway 2.
Boy, is it so good to get out of the low clouds and the fog and the stratus and the air inversion, and it's typical. We get used to it around here in the Wenatchee Valley. It's not a surprise, but it isn't particularly pleasant. Well, the boring weather is gone, and we're in for quite a bit of sunshine. It's vitamin E time, folks, for north central Washington. First, we'll begin our forecast, of course, with the almanac. A nice, mild 40 degrees today. That's 6 degrees above normal. We had a little strange weather pattern. It was 39 at midnight, and it was about 37 degrees about 7 a.m., and then it got colder until about 10 o'clock, and then we warmed back up again to about 40 degrees. 32 for the overnight low. Normally we're about 34 degrees, so we're looking good there. Nice and pleasant day. Nowhere near our record highs or lows, of course. The 48-degree mark set back in 2001. -1, the overnight low back in 1962. No, thank you. Again, no rain at all over the last couple of days, and none expected. No snow coming at all as well. So those numbers haven't changed for the last couple of days. We're above 9 hours of daylight, 9 hours and 7 minutes of daylight today on this Friday. The days are getting longer by about 90 seconds or so. All right, first of all, what are we looking at tomorrow for Saturday's high? Perhaps a little bit cooler. Just take a look-see. We'll start out, of course, with the Columbia Basin. Moses Lake, Freda, you're all going to be a little bit cooler than you were today. They'll be just above freezing out in the basin. Quincy, maybe a little bit warmer at 34. Ellensburg at 34 degrees. Here in the big city, we'll top off at about 38 degrees. Cashmere also at 38. Always cooler in the upper valley. That includes Leavenworth and Lake Wenatchee, a couple of degrees cooler. And yet you'll check in at about 37 for the afternoon highs. So all of these temperatures, just a couple of degrees cooler than we saw today. Chelan at 34 and Omak at 34. And one of the reasons the temperatures tomorrow are going to be a little bit cooler than today, we're going to have clear skies. When we have the low clouds, that blanket keeps us pretty warm at night. That's not going to be the case over the weekend. Big ridge of high pressure. You can't see it. It's out there. It's right over the Pacific Ocean. And it's just going to sit there. It's going to be nice and stable. And that means any kind of weather that comes our way is going to bump into that dome of high pressure. And it's going to go one way or the other. And it's going to keep us pretty high and dry. Lots of sunshine in the forecast. However, as we get deeper into the weekend, we are going to see a little bit more of those patchy fog and low clouds form in the early morning hours. So right around 4 or 5 a.m. till about 9 or so, we're still going to see some clouds and some fog, not nearly as prevalent as it was for that long stretch. It'll burn off mid to late morning and lots of sunshine for folks right through the forecast period. A lot of sunshine. Temperatures gradually will warm up. The sun will be a little bit higher in the sky, of course, so we're looking good for lots of sunshine. Still a couple of passing weak systems. That high pressure is just going to sit there. It's going to go up and down and left and right, but it's not going to slide over the Wenatchee Valley. And when we have high pressure this time of the year with clear skies, the skies stay clear. We had high pressure last week and into this week, which gave us that air inversion, but it trapped the clouds and the fog on the valley surface. But when the high pressure builds up with sunshine, we get sunshine. And this is going to be the forecast right through the early part of this week and next week, right on into Thursday. The passes will be fine. There'll be no snow, no rain at all in the major mountain passes. In fact, all of the Pacific Northwest is going to be dealing with lots of sunshine. But as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, you folks to the north of us in the Omak and Okanagan area and the Methow Valley, you're going to be dealing with more persistent low clouds and fog. So to recap, beautiful day today, 42 for the afternoon high. We'll get right about the freezing mark, 32 for the overnight low tonight. We do it all over again Saturday. Again, a couple of degrees cooler because we're going to have cooler overnight lows, 26 for the overnight low on Saturday night. We wrap up the weekend on Sunday with just a couple of passing clouds. Outside of that, just about our normal high, right around 34 for the afternoon high on Sunday. A little chilly for the overnight low Sunday night, as you see, 24. Back to work on Monday. We bump it up a couple of degrees. Still sunshine prevalent for everybody, 37 degrees. Again, some persistent little bitty patchy morning fog here and there in the overnight hours. Right through the forecast period, it should burn off mid-morning to late morning with bountiful afternoon sunshine. So a nice gradual snow melt is in store for most of north central Washington. That's your forecast. Still to come, Eric Granstrom with sports. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
I'm John Divis from Wenatchee Dental Arts, and I like to think myself as a comprehensive dentist. We are an office that treats people comprehensively for their dental problems. We do a lot of general dentistry in a broad sense. We don't send everything out. Things that we have the ability to do in the office, we like to keep in the office and under one roof and keep things as complication-free as possible. can come to one place and have all their dental needs taken care of.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Friday to Wenatchee Wild got back on the ice and back in the win column last night at the Town Toyota Center down in Cranbrook 3-2 in BCHL play. After a scoreless first period, Wenatchee got on the board in the second on goals by Travis Bonnet and Ian Somoza. Sean Ziers had the call for Hockey TV.
Losing the puck. Now Parker. Here's a shot and a save. Managed to off the rebound. Wenatchee picks up the first goal of the game at 13:47. And it will be picked up by Morrissey, who can't get it out. Kept in by Wenatchee. It might have been deflected by Quinn Emerson, but Wenatchee has scored again, and it's a 2-0 lead. And then it's going to be controlled in a bad pass, and it's gotten a score. 8:15 in the second period. Cranbrook has cut the lead in half. Gasparini, downloaded Bond. Here's a centering attempt, and he couldn't get it down. What a goal! Oh, my goodness. 3-1 Wenatchee lead.
Yeah, Cade Littler added that, proved to be the game winner 36 seconds into the third period. Wenatchee wins it 3-2. Two teams play again tonight, 7:05, and a road game on Saturday for the Wild at West Kelowna at 7 o'clock. Well, make it 2 in a row for the Seattle Kraken. Seattle fought back after a sluggish start to beat San Jose 3-2 at Climate Pledge Arena. After falling behind, Carson Soucy lit the lamp twice to put the Kraken up for good.
A tight turn by Appleton. Giordano wide open. Shortening up on the stick is Soucy. He scores! Carson Soucy! Look out. Breakaway. Timo Meyer. What a save! Philip Grubauer anticipated that. Look out. Here's a chance. A shot. He scores! Slid along the ice. A tip high off the glass by Yarncroke. Yarncroke scores! Hey, hey! What do you say? Picked off by Giordano. Puck is loose, fed across. They score. It's Timo Meyer. 4 seconds left. Larson rims it. A keep by Burns. 2 seconds. Carlson blocked. That's Kraken hockey, baby. It's a 3-2 win over San Jose.
Seattle's back on the ice at 7 o'clock tonight against St. Louis before hosting Florida Sunday at 6. You can watch the action on Root Sports. Turning to the Les Schwab women's college basketball scoreboard last night, Louisville had a complete meltdown in the fourth quarter. NC State outscored the Cardinals 31-8 in the frame to win it 68-59. Haley Van Lith 13 in the loss. Sierra Walker had 15 points. Lee Gonzaga passed Portland 68-59. Sacramento State down Eastern Washington 59-49. Coming up tonight, Washington hosts Oregon at 7 o'clock. Tomorrow, Eastern's at Northern Colorado at 1. Gonzaga travels to St. Mary's. Louisville back at home against Wake Forest Sunday morning at 11. Huskies will host the Beavers at noon on Sunday. Wasn't easy for Gonzaga last night, but the top-ranked Bulldogs beat San Francisco 78-62. Drew Timme, 23 points. Chet Holmgren chipped in 22. Highlights courtesy of Gonzaga Athletics. Yeah, good win for Gonzaga. Other action last night, Ryan Bergerson had 15 points. Of all 5 Eastern starters in double figures, Eagles beat Sacramento State 75-62. Washington got 27 from Terrell Brown Jr., 16 from Eddie Matthews Jr., 82-72 win at Oregon State. Coming up tomorrow, Northern Colorado visits Eastern Washington at 2. Washington State and Oregon State postponed by COVID. Washington will travel to Oregon Sunday at 7 on the Pac-12 network. We had some fun broadcasting wrestling last night here on the NCWLIFE channel. At least I did anyway. Wenatchee took care of Eastmont 52-21. They saved the best match for last as Wenatchee's Vincent Goforth took on Eastmont's Juan Martinez Gonzalez. We pick it up in the third round with Goforth leading at 4-1. I had the call right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Whistle sounds. Martinez Gonzalez rolls And gets let's see, is he going to get a 2-point reversal? He didn't get the escape. He should get the escape now as he'll throw Goforth over with a minute to go. What do we have here? The official's still saying that Goforth has the advantage. Again, Martinez-Gonzalez tosses him, but doesn't have control. He's got to cover the hips here. He's got to show that he's got control of Goforth on the bottom. 44 seconds left in the match. Now he gets a 2-point reversal. So it's a 4-3 match. And now Goforth stands up. And he will let him loose. So it's 5-3 our score. 25 seconds left. Martinez-Gonzalez needs the takedown. Needs a throw. Goforth has a single leg. Both wrestlers exhausted. Martinez-Gonzalez trying to throw him one more time. 10 seconds left here in the match. Goforth will get the takedown. And Vincent Goforth will win this match by a final of 7-3. How about that?
Yeah, Wenatchee gets the win 52-21. Also last night, Sunnyside down at Moses Lake 58-15. Ephrata edged Grandview 46-33. Coming up tonight, Moses Lake hosts West Valley at 5, followed by Eastmont at 7. Tomorrow, Cascade and 16 other schools in Prosser for the tournament there at 9 o'clock. Brewster, Kashmir, Chelan, Manson, Omak, Okanagan, 12 other schools. And Quincy for a tournament that starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. In the pool yesterday, boys swimming, Moses Lake topped Eastmont 138-41. Wenatchee beat West Valley 110-47. Today, Eastmont hosted the 11 dive meet at the Eastmont Aquatic Center. On the Les Schwab Prep boys basketball scoreboard from last night, yeah, it's busy on the sports schedule. Eisenhower and Wenatchee were a late scratch. Lake Roosevelt edged Brewster. Okanagan topped Warden. Moses Lake Christian beat up Pateras. Entiat edged Wilson Creek. Bridgeport won by forfeit over Cascade Christian. Turning to the girls scoreboard from last night, Warden edged Okanagan. It was Moses Lake Christian getting by Pateras. Entiat topped Wilson Creek. Bridgeport beat Cascade Christian. Now turning to the schedule for today, Omak's hosting Okanagan. Kashmir travels to Chelan. That's at 5:45. The 6 o'clock games have Brewster at Tonasca, Waterville Mansfield's in Soap Lake, Manson hosting Liberty Bell, and Ellensburg visiting Ephrata. On the girls' schedule coming up tomorrow, Kashmir hosts Cle-Elum at 3:45. Waterville Mansfield hosts Manson at 4. The Entiat girls visit Liberty Bell at 4:30. Moses Lake hosts Sunnyside at 4:45. Bridgeport travels to Lake Roosevelt at 6 o'clock. Turning to the boys' schedule for tonight, Quincy's at Cascade at 5:45. Tonasca takes on Brewster at 6, while Waterville Mansfield is at Soap Lake. Manson hosts Liberty Bell. Okanagan and Omak get underway at 7:15, while Kashmir visits Chelan. Ephrata hosts Ellensburg. Tomorrow, boys play starts at 4 o'clock when Waterville Mansfield hosts Manson. Entiat tips at Liberty Bell at 4:30. Wenatchee hosts West Valley at 4:45. Quincy is in Wapato at 6, while Bridgeport visits Lake Roosevelt. Sunnyside and Moses Lake get underway at 6:30. Finally, divisional round of the NFL playoffs is this weekend. Starting tomorrow, Cincinnati plays at Tennessee at 1:30 on CBS. That's followed at 5:15 by San Francisco at Green Bay on Fox. Sunday's action starts at noon on NBC when Tampa Bay hosts Los Angeles. The Buffalo Bills take on Kansas City Sunday at 3:30 on CBS. Have a safe and sane weekend. See you on Monday. Dan, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. He's good. He's really good. A friendly reminder, if you got a news tip, you want to drop us a note and say hi, we'd love to hear from you. You can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com. You can call the number that you see on your screen there, 509-888-6295. You can go to our Facebook page and use the Messenger app, or go to our homepage, ncwlife.com, and you'll want to bookmark it because we're constantly populating our homepage with all the latest news, weather, and the information you need to be informed as a viewer here in North Central Washington. Don't forget to join me Monday morning at 7 a.m. for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Have a good and safe weekend. Take care.
News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCW Life channel.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellingson here from Live It Up. Join us every week as we answer your questions on health, wealth, and relationships.
We're all about you creating a life that you love, so tune in to Live It Up.
Connect with us on Networked as we introduce you to the people and organizations who are leading innovation in the region. Get inspired, engaged, and networked right here on the NCWLIFE channel.